Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Joshua Suliruka here, your host of the Impact Podcast Show. Now, before I introduce our next special guest on the Impact Podcast Show, allow me to share to you two quick reminders before we get into this session or get into this podcast episode. The first one is I just wanted to say thank you, to those out there that are tuning into this podcast episode, either through Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I want to say once again, thank you guys so much for listening. But I do want to give a massive shout out to those out there that are watching this video through our YouTube channel. And so if you guys don't know, we are on YouTube. And so for those out there that aren't watching this on YouTube, check out our YouTube channel. Make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button. But for those out there that are tuning into this video through YouTube, make sure that you guys like this video if you guys are getting any added value at all. And also comment down below your thoughts. If you guys got any thoughts that you want to share or anything that you've got to say, please drop it down. But hey, most importantly, make sure that you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on that bell button for the latest updates for the videos. And so that's the first thing that I wanted to share. But the second thing that I do want to share before I get my man on the other side to come on and have a conversation is I just want to share our mission. And our mission is simple, right? Our mission is to focus on impacting the one. And so, guys, if you get impacted by this podcast, I'd highly encourage you to share this to someone else that can benefit from this. Because remember, it only takes one person to change someone's life. And that could most definitely and most possibly be you. And that will be cool. But hey, guys, let's get straight into this podcast episode. I'm excited. I'm so excited because for our special guests, we had an hour conversation before we jumped on, and if anything, that's always that's what always happens when we have someone on the Impact Podcast Show. And so let me share to you guys just a brief story, and I guess the why behind why I wanted to get our special guest on here. So I've actually already met this guy on the other side, and the way that we met was we're part of a online mastermind or financial literacy, and we there was a certain event that we went to, and that's the first time I met him. And that was actually the first time I met him. I had no clue who this guy was. If anything, when I first seen him, my first impression was bro, is this guy at the wrong house? That was literally the first thing I in my head. I was like, bro, I've never seen this guy before. But yeah, man, when I first met this guy, I just knew that there was something gold in him. I knew that there was something gold in him. I knew that there was something that was inside of him that was going to be exposed. And, I've been able to kind of build a relationship with our social guest to the point where I feel like we're brothers. I feel like we're literal brothers. We're walking similar journeys. But the thing is, we both understand each other. And so he actually runs his own clothing brand called Trzl Hill. And he's also a part of many different things that he's going to be sharing for today. But yeah, I guess the real reason why I wanted to get him on here is because I believe that this man here, if there's anyone out there that knows me, right, that knows me well when it comes to me being a freedom coach, it's this guy right here. He's seen everything that I've done. He's literally attended all the mindset calls, which I always praise him about. But most importantly, guys, I do believe that there is something inside of him and a story that he has that is going to impact you. And so, guys, I'd love you all to please welcome to the Impact Podcast Show, my man Faima. Welcome, bro, a.k.a. Muzza. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for jumping on.
Hey, Joshy. How are we? Thank you for having me on, man. First of all, praise the Lord, man. Praise the Lord for everything. You know what I mean? Without him, we're nothing, man. Or I'm nothing. I believe that. We're here today, and I believe that because we're still alive and we've been blessed with another day because we have a purpose. And we're here to find that purpose and to fulfill that purpose. And I appreciate you, brother. I'm grateful for having me on. And bear with me, man, because I've never done this before. A little bit nerds, you know what I mean? But nah, man, it's all good. You know what I mean? Like with my walk and my faith, man, I have to be prepared and ready for anything. And I appreciate you, my brother, and I'm grateful to cross paths with you, man. And I'm grateful for being on this Impact podcast. And yeah, man, let's go. God's good.
Yeah, bro. No, let's go, man. But hey, bro, once again, man, thank you for taking out your time. I know that you like you have other things to do in your even on your journey, doing many other things. I know that you've got other things to do. So, bro, I really do truly appreciate you, bro, for taking out your time. Now, I guess, bro, the first thing I would love to do, man, is that we do have people on here that may be of your following. Might have family, might have friends, you might even have your followers tuning onto the Impact Podcast show or this episode. But we do have an Impact community that listens to our podcast episodes. And so, bro, is there any chance that you could possibly share just a bit about who you are, just for those out there that may not know you?
Yeah, my name is Faima. Most call me Muzza. I don't know how I got. Oh, they called me Ma from when I was younger. Muzza. That's how I got. No dramatic story about. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm 34, man. I'm turning 35 this year. I live out in Western Sydney. I've got my own clothing line. Trzl Hill. So I'm working on that at the moment, and I'm a father. I have a daughter that I love dearly, and I'm grateful for every day. And man, I'm just trying to pursue things that I've never done before, man. And I'm just trying to give everything a crack, and give it a good crack. And man, I'm learning I Am Academy as well. That's how we cross paths in this industry that we're in, and this thing that I'm trying to learn, as in trading and forex. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to do things that I've never done before, and I'm trying to take the road less traveled by.
Yeah.
And man, that's about me, and I'm just trying to crack these goals and give it a good go.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate you sharing, man. For just sharing a bit about who you are. For those out there that are watching this, either through YouTube or if you're listening to this through Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we're gonna you guys will probably most likely know more about Muzza in this episode, right? Than you will when you meet him, because we're gonna get real, right? We actually have conversations, here and there, and it's actually quite consistent. It's either once a week, and it's just random. We just randomly just say, hey, yo, and we just call each other and just have a conversation. And so if there's anything that I've learned from this man on the other side, is that, bro, this guy's eager. Do you know what I mean? This guy's eager for success. He's keen. If he falls short or if he fails, he's willing to fail. But you guys will know more about that. And bro, I'm excited, man. I'm actually really excited. I think this was a podcast in the making. I really believe that this was something that, I believe that God put us both into the same path, or into a similar path, or even our cross path. And bro, I'm keen, bro. I'm keen for other people to know more about who you are and your story. And so I guess, bro, I reckon we'll get straight into it. One thing I believe in is before the glory there is always a story. There's always there's always a story behind your glory stages. And bro, I believe that, man, you're at your peak right now, but I feel like there's so much more that you're going to have in store. But bro, I know that you have a story, man, and I would love to go on the journey with you into for the other people out there that are tuning into this podcast episode, to hear your story, man, and to feel it and to experience it. And so I guess, man, I want to kind of get right into getting into your story. So, bro, I guess the first question I got for you, man, is could you share a bit about your upbringing? How was your upbringing growing up?
My upbringing growing up, I was brought up in a Samoan family, so Pacific Islander family. I was brought up pre-church. You know what I mean? We've been told that we were forced to go to church. You know what I mean? It was just something that normal. Any PI out there, any Pacific Islander will know that it's just part of the culture. In when you brought up in a Samoan family, we have to go to church. You know what I mean? You have to respect our parents, and do as they say. And but yeah, man, my upbringing was tough. You know what I mean? It was really tough, and I seen the struggles that my parents went through. I didn't like to share much, but I was just I like to be transparent, and it might help someone out there as well. You know what I mean? But I thank the Lord for everything in my life. You know what I mean? I do.
Mm.
I really do. So myself, so my father passed away. My biological father passed away when before I was born. I only know like stories that my family tells me, like my cousins and all that, But and to be honest, in my household, we don't really talk about it much. You know what I mean? Like, and that's something I noticed in the Pacific Islander thing is they don't like to talk about certain things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We don't like to bring things to light as much. And in other words, some people might relate to you is sometimes you feel like you don't have a voice. You know what I mean? But I'm grateful for everything in my family. But I don't talk about it much. But I'm grateful for my dad.
Yeah.
Like he's a real man. You know what I mean? Like he brought up me and my brother and my sister and that. And I got a younger brother and sister as well. Um, but he's a real man. To look after someone else's kids, it's that's a big job. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like it's not something like that's the love he had for my mum, and he took that on board and took say being with her, he took everyone with him too. You know what I mean? And I'm just grateful for that. And but yeah, man, just some life lessons growing up, man, was very tough, and like I didn't realize that until I got older. You know what I mean? And but a lot of things that happen when now is because of when like your childhood traumas, childhood upbringings, and but yeah, man, like for that, I'm just grateful. You know what I mean? Like the type of person I am. I like to take the good out of bad situations. You know what I mean, and throw the rest away and learn from it.
Mm.
But sometimes we complain and think that life's tough and life's hard, but someone else is doing it 10 times worse than you.
Mm.
And just be grateful for um, just little things, food on the table, clothes on your back, a roof over your head, and something else that that probably can't be provided is love.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
100%.
mean? Is love. Um, and that's what I always felt at my families. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't agree to certain things of how we've been brought up, but there was always a lot of love
Mm.
and tough love, a lot of tough love. But yeah, man, it's made us and molded us in who we become today. And yeah, that's just something about my upbringing. Um, yeah, so that's if that answers the question, something like that. But yeah, I'm
Mm.
grateful for everything in my life right now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you, bro. Thank you for sharing that, man. And hey, I can totally relate to you, man. I think that's something that it was funny, because I remember. So if you guys don't know, Farmer's a part of the 5 a.m. club, and he's also one of the freedom drivers too. That's been a part of the $5 challenge, and it was cool, man. I remember this. Like, I don't know if you remember, bro, but do you remember that conversation that it was me, you, and Elizabeth? Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. That was,
Um,
bro. That was special, man. That was special,
yeah.
bro. And so, allow me, guys, to give you a bit of context because it actually relates to this. Is like, I guess, the real reason as to why, like, me and Faima always connect so well is that the one thing that we both have in common is that we were some sort of somewhat fatherless. Do you know what I mean? For those out there, if you guys don't know, I'm a fatherless kid, and so the difference between my father and Farmer's father is that Farmer's father he passed away, whereas my one, he's still alive. And so, it was just through hearing the fact that, him sharing his story that it got me thinking about, hey, like, while my father's alive, maybe I should be more grateful in the fact that he is still alive because there is someone out there like yourself who was, always questioning themselves, man, I wonder how different my life would have been if my father
Mm.
was here, or I wonder if I would have been, a step forward in life, or I wonder if, if he taught me how to, you know, ride a bike or learn how to manage my money, whatever the case may be. And, that was one of the things that kept us, I think for me, kept me more kind of building relationship with you, man, is because we have a really rooted story that no one else can change. No one else can change it for us. You know, they can't say, oh yeah, like you weren't fatherless. It's like, no, I'm fatherless, and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? Especially for you, my bro, because like your dad or your father did pass away, your biological one. But bro, I'll never forget that conversation, man. Like so. For those out there that are listening, I'll give you a bit of context on what we're doing. So we had this thing that we were trialing out, and it was like, you know, the 5 a.m. club, and it was like a chat, some sort of a chat. You know, it was a voice chat, and it was just gonna, like, my whole goal was just to get into conversation. And I remember there was it was only me, it was you, like, so it was Faima, and it was also one of the other 5 a.m. club chicks who's literally killing it. Right, shout out to Elizabeth if she's listening to this, and it was just us three, and I had no clue that all three of us were fatherless. I had no clue, bro. But there was some sort of relationship that we all, like, all three of us had in that conversation, and like it was crazy because like that's the conversation that we had in that talk. It was just about being fatherless. You know, it was like, oh, you know, Faima was sharing his story, and then like, you know, Elizabeth was sharing her story, and then I was sharing my story. And I don't know, bro, I seen so much power. You know, I seen so much power like in that conversation. But yeah, bro, what was your thoughts on that? What was your thoughts on that conversation that we had?
Yeah, man. Bro, it was weird. It was like, you know, like I was just listening in, and then I just opened up, you know what I mean? Like I didn't think, because like, and then I finally realized now, like, you know, why we cross paths, you know, we always talk about, we're all related, like as in not blood related, but we always related in struggle, or we relate in the same similar like situations in life or stories, like as we were talking about. But yeah, man, it was weird, but it was good, you know what I mean? And it was like it was a shock to me too, like jumping on, and then that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And just to hear everyone open up, and like, but we didn't know, like, you know, as you said, like that's your goal, as in like reaching out to the fatherless kids, you know what I mean? That's a big goal of yours that you want to bring in. Like, we didn't join, like, you know, because that's what you posted, or like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone just joined for the fight, to join up, to wake up in the earlier hours of the morning, to, you know, wake up at 5 a.m. But then as the journey went on, like we're finding out little things why we have connected, you know what I mean? And yeah, so that was pretty cool, like hearing that. And even with, like, you know, I didn't share, like I said, I don't share with it much, but it could help someone too. And this is why I believe everything happens for a reason. Everything does happen for a reason. And but even my wife, bro, she's fatherless. You know what I mean?
Oh wow.
My wife is fatherless. Like her. Sorry, honey, if you're watching. Like, you know, I don't know if I was meant to share it, but yeah, like he's alive too, but he went away, and then like he hasn't come back. But hey, we don't know. We don't know what the story behind it is. Like, you know, we can't judge. Who are we to judge? And just be grateful that we're healthy, and we're blessed with the lives that we do have.
Yeah.
No,
100%, man. And like, yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy to see that there is so many fatherless kids. Do you know what I mean? There are so many fatherless kids out there that are walking the street, that are going to school, that are going to work, and they don't realize that one of the biggest core issues that they're dealing with isn't the habit. You know what I mean? Like, bro, if there's anyone out there that knows like a lot about habits, it would be Faima, because he joined the $5 challenge. And you know, we explored on habits and bad habits and how it comes through. And you know, Faima did mention that one of the core reasons as to why we're not able to break through our bad habits is childhood trauma. There was a specific trauma that we had gone through as a young person, as a child, that because we haven't dealt with it, we're still carrying it. You know what I mean? And so it was really good. It was really enlightening to see that when I had shared that as part of the $5 challenge, there were so many people that had like, bro, light bulb moments. They're like, What? Are you serious? It's just a childhood trauma that I went through. And I was like, yeah, man. Like, literally, there was something that happened from 0 to 7, right? When you were a baby to 7 years old, that was a traumatic experience that you felt. And so as a result, these are the reasons why. You're looking for some sort of need. You're trying to, reduce the pain. And that's all you've noted. That's all you've known about it. So, yeah, man, bro, I've got a question for you. Like, just to kind of lead back into your story. You mentioned that you were fatherless, like with your biological father, like you haven't met him. How has that been for you, bro? Like, how did you manage with that? Growing up as a kid, knowing that, you're like the father that you have now isn't actually a biological father. How did that feel for you?
Right, like no one's really asked it like that, break it down like that, eh? Like man, like it's not like, to be honest, I can't even remember. I believe I wasn't even told.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I said, we don't talk about things, in my household, or, in a lot of polys, or like in my family, I know that, like, so yeah, I don't think I was told. I just found out, like I was wondering, like, why we're going to these people's house, and like, but it was my biological father's family, you know what I mean? And like, why we're going here, and then they would tell me. I think that's how I found out. Like, my cousins would tell me, oh, your dad when he was alive, and I think that's how I started to, but I didn't even like it didn't even like play in my mind, because I think when I was so young, and my dad came into our lives, and like I have glimpses of maybe when he did come in, but like he's been there from the start. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful for him. And to be honest, I used to play in my mind, like as I got older, but like how life would have been, like, you know what I mean? Like because it's weird, because you're being brought up in a certain way, then you go to the other side of your family, and then people will say things like, oh man, like you're like your dad. Like how can I be like someone I don't even know about? You know what I mean? Like the way you walk around, your attitude is like your dad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just trying to put pieces. I still am trying to put pieces together, but it's something that the only way I'll find out if I ask questions. You know what I mean? But I don't know if it's something I want to bring up, you know what I mean? And then like I don't know with my mom, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if it might hurt her bringing it up, like, you know what I mean? Like might bring her memories that's, you know what I mean, that brings her past up with my biological father. But to be honest, like, bro, my nieces don't even know, you know what I mean? I don't know if they do know, or, nah, man, like I just took it as it, as a positive, like, at least I got a dad, you know what I mean? And like, and yeah, man, I ran with it, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm grateful. I didn't have just two sides of a family, like my mom's side and my dad's side. I got three sides, my mom's side, my dad's side, and my biological father.
Yeah.
So I'm being blessed with, everyone's, they got two sides of the family. I got three. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, I'm just, to be honest, I'm still searching. I don't even know if I'm searching, or like I'm just accepting it. You know what I mean? And,
yeah.
But yeah, man, that's something that no one's really asked me, because like if I think of it, I wouldn't have it any other way, because then I wouldn't have my younger brother and sister. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we ask, oh, well, if my dad was alive, but then I won't have my younger brother and my younger sister. And I love them dearly, you know what I mean? There's no such thing as half brother, half sister. We came from the same womb, you know what I mean? And that's not gonna change, you know what I mean? And I'm so grateful for that. So if you were to tell me, like, honest truth, like if I could rewind time, like go back and say my father should be alive, I'm sorry, but like I've never said it. I don't even know why I've never said this ever. Like, it's the first time, but nah. As much as I would want to know, like, what my life would be, I'd rather have my brother and sister and my dad. Like, you know what I mean? Me and my dad might not see eye to eye certain things, you know what I mean? And as in growing up, and then when I did find out as well, I used to think that they were picking on me because, there's a force that you put in your head, like as a child, you don't know if that, that I've been treated this way because I'm not his real son or whatever.
Yeah.
But nah, he could have walked away, you know what I mean? Like walked in the front door, out the back door. But nah, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, I love my brother and sister, and I wouldn't, but I'm grateful for my father, like, because I wouldn't be here too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's just a hard question. It's tricky for me at the moment because, like, it just like shocked me. But like, yeah, man, like, yeah, I'm still searching, bro. Still searching as well. And to be honest, I think I'm just content with. I'm just happy where I'm at. And because searching, sometimes when you search about things, it's gonna just maybe make you or break you even more. Where I'm grateful for everything that I have now.
Yeah.
Where it's put me in, like, in life right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, bro, that's amazing,
question?
man. That's an amazing answer, bro. And I know that it might have been quite difficult for you, bro, because you're still in that search. You're still in that search of really discovering who you really are. Because if anything, it's quite difficult to figure out your true identity if you don't know who your real parents were. Do you know what I mean? Like, it makes so much sense, bro, as to why you're still in that search, and why, in some other cases, like if you're talking about, business, or if you're talking about, anything that you're really good at, or that you have a lot of strength, then yeah, sweet. Like, we can talk about it for days. But when it comes to these things that you're still in search for, like, like really understanding about your real biological father, it's like, yeah, I'm still on that search. And yeah, as I say, man, like, the only way that you're gonna know is by asking questions, going out there, asking and not just asking questions, but asking the right questions. It's like asking, it's like, if you're gonna, like, quality questions leads to quality answers. And if anything, bro, that's the main focus. But yeah, no, bro, I actually appreciate you sharing this, man, and even just being transparent. That's one thing that we're about, is just, wanting to be the most transparent person in the room. And bro, you've literally taken that hat already. And so, bro, I wanna ask you another question, man, and I want to kind of steer, and continue along your journey, of your story, knowing more about who you are for those out there that are listening. So, bro, just to clarify, or just go through a bit of a summary. So, with Faima, he grew up in a Pacific Islander, a Pacific Islander, like, cultured family. Very heavily, focused on, going to church, doing that lifestyle, even like doing little things like cleaning, doing a lot of cleaning and certain things like that. And then he also shared about, growing up, with these, growing up without his biological father, and how much of an effect that made on him. But I want to now steer on to, well, this is probably like one of my favorite questions, man. And it's, bro, growing up, man, like you've grown up, you went through the situation that you've gone through, the experience that you've had, even to the point where, like, you feel like you're getting picked on. But the question I got for you now, man, is like, of this life that you've lived, bro, what has been your biggest setback? What's been your biggest setback, being on Earth for you, bro? What's been the biggest setback for you?
What do you mean, as in like in life, or
Yeah, just in life, bro. Like, what's kind of like, the biggest, I guess, hardship that you've gone through?
The hardship, yeah. So probably the biggest hardship is Bro, living a life that I thought was normal and good. I thought that was I was good. I thought I was cash, you know what I mean? And so I believe I'm a good person, but I was living wrong. You know what I mean? I wasn't living right. I believe I was being a good person, but I wasn't living right. And in saying that is you know what I mean? Like so from us, like, you know, when you're growing up in my household and thing, I wasn't allowed anywhere, you know what I mean? I wasn't allowed to go things. So we weren't given the opportunity to have a voice and do this, do that. So when I did get the opportunity, when I got older, like I took off and I never looked back, you know what I mean? And I done everything 100 miles an hour, you know what I mean? Like I'm talking about, like, you know, from partying to drugs to everything, you know what I mean, to gambling. Like, you know, I'm going to be transparent here now, and I went hard, you know what I mean, and because I felt like we were so like locked up and we weren't allowed to do everything. You were only meant to be good, you know what I mean, which is a good thing, you know what I mean. But they I believe we weren't in Pacific Islander household or somewhere, like they don't actually explain to the point, like, you know what I mean, like or you know, like why they're doing certain things. You're just told to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're just told to do it, but there's no explanation on why they're actually doing these things. They do explain it to you, but like, you know, but not to a point where it's understandable for a kid. You know what I mean? Like, and like going back to, like I said, like I used to think I was getting picked on. You know what I mean? I used to do the chores. There was none of this. So I go wash the dishes for $2 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like none of this. Like you were just told to do it, and that was it. And but as I got older, like now I'm grateful for it, because when I was younger, I thought I was getting picked on. But now there's a life lessons that I've taken into my adulthood now, that I know how to cook, clean, do, like, you know, cooking in like our culture, like, you know, certain people don't actually walukalo. That means, like, you know, peel the tares and bananas and do all that stuff. So I'm grateful for that, you know what I mean, and that thing. But like the setbacks I'm trying to say, like, is like everything that I've done, like as in like with my partner, and like, you know, everything was a build up, like, you know what I mean, like I was drinking so much, I was cheating and cheating on her and lying to myself, like cheating on her in the way of like cheating on her with gambling, drugs, alcohol. People might not say it, but like I enjoyed that stuff to the point where, you know what I mean, like certain people in my life, like my partner, my parents, they'll be trying to tell me things and I wouldn't listen, because I was so fixated in doing what I was doing, and like I thought it was normal, you know, go to work and, you know, have a little drink here and there. And to be honest, I thought it was normal and doing whatever I was doing, and the way I've been brought up, like, you know, I thought, like, you know, once I was free, I can do whatever I wanted, and it was the wrong thing, you know what I mean? It was the wrong thing until, you know, I was a bit older, and I got into a bit of trouble, you know what I mean? So I got into a bit of trouble, and I went away for a bit. I went, you know, I got locked up and stuff like that. You know, that was a big setback in my life. You know what I mean? Yeah. And at that time, I was going away for work, but yet I went away in a different way. You know what I mean? And that was a setback, but yet it was a blessing for me. You know what I mean? It's what changed my life around. It's what changed my life around, and like the way that I was living, I thought was good. You know what I mean? Like doing what I was doing, and hanging out with the boys I was with and the people I was with. But the main thing is I was living a lie. I was living a lie, and just maybe I was just doing all these to cover up like childhood traumas. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like just instant gratifications, like we're talking about, but nah, man, that was the biggest setback for me. Like, was just the drugs, the drinking, who I was with. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's the saying, you become the average of your 5 closest friends.
Yeah.
You know, and So when I got into trouble and I went away for a bit, and that was a setback, and then I realized the real important things in life, and that was like my partner, which is my wife now, praise the Lord, and the people that are really there for you. You know what I mean? Like, everyone says, oh, the boys this, the boys that, the area this, the area that. And at the end of the day, they're not going to come and help you when you do get into trouble, or, you know what I mean? Or they're not going to come pay your bills. They're not going to come do all this for you. But yeah, that was a setback for myself. I was in like, it was a lesson learned, but I'm grateful for it. You know what I mean? That God saved me before it got it could have been worse. Could have been worse. And so that was my setback. But it was like they said, a setback is always a build up or a comeback or something like that. You know what I mean? And I'm just forever grateful, man. Like, it's that setback has put me forward and put me where I am today that I would never think I'll be. Just put it that way.
Yeah.
That setback was actually the greatest thing for me. Like, there's a saying in the Bible thing, sometimes we have to go through darkness to come back into the light. You know what I mean? And in life, we have to be tested sometimes. You have to be tested to have a testimony.
Yeah, come on.
You know what I mean? So, like, it's good to go through some trials and that and some tribulation, because then it's going to bring you back bigger and better. And, like, everything, that happens in life, it comes from struggle, pain, and we don't lose. We only get stronger, I believe. And it's how we deal with it. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm blessed. I read something today, like, that's I feel blessed too. Like, that it wasn't that God led me through that path to come back to where I'm now, because for some people it's too late. I've got friends in that, that we've done things that we're not proud of. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk about it on here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's this that in life that we've done that we're not proud of. But hey, it's made us who we are today. It's I'm grateful for now. I'm grateful for everything that I have now. You know what I mean? And I pray that I don't just talk about it. I pray that I really do mean what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was something like, like, I've had boys that's died from the life that they lived, or situations that's happened, and, like, but, like, it said something like this: you don't want to die. Like, if you want to die, then throw yourself into the sea and you'll find yourself fighting to survive. You don't want to kill yourself. Rather, you just want to kill something inside of you.
Yeah, well.
You know what I mean? Like, and like, I can say I was spiritually dead, walking around. Like, there's a saying, like, you could be walking around, but you're dead. You know what I mean? And like I said, if we go back to the start, like I said, we were forced to go to church. You know what I mean? Now I go to church on my own, like, just a disclaimer, and I thank the Lord for everything that I have. Without him, I'm nothing. And, like, believing in God and knowing is two different things. I want to get to know him more and more every day. And that's just a setback that's brought me for a better comeback.
Yeah, nah, man, bro, that's freaking insane, bro. And, like, guys, this is the reason why I wanted to get him on here. The reason why I wanted to get him on here is because, like, I know that this guy's got a story, but, just like he mentioned at the start, this is his first podcast, so this is new to him, and I just love the fact, bro, that you're being transparent. That you were sharing that that you went through that that stage of life where, like, you were rebellious. That's like, oh, I'm going to just do whatever I want to do. But you know what, man? I found something and, like, bro, Faima's already, like, he's already used to this. I'm always doing this, just I always got to get, like, these nuggets just come out of nowhere. But, bro, one thing I started to realize, man, is, like, would you say that the only reason why you did what you did, the only reason why you experienced like everything under the sun, would you say that that was just simply because you were restricted? Like, would you say that, like, growing up as a young Faima, kid, would you say that because you were restricted, because you were in a family that restricted you, that was strict in restricting you on doing things, once you were set free, you done everything? Like, would you say that that was a thing, or could you kind of share as to how it was for you?
No, 100%. Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. I believe as I got older, at the time I didn't realize, you know what I mean. But if there was to explain to me and let me go out, like, and say why this is why you shouldn't be going out, blah blah, all this, and have a better understanding. But because I was so restricted, and it's like, like you want to get out. You want to get out, and then once you get out, boom, it just everything explodes. You know what I mean? And then like you're gone. You know what I mean? But like in saying that, like I'm grateful because I know what they were. I'm trying to teach me and put in line was to better myself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It was sometimes it's not about the message; it's how we deliver it. You know what I mean? Like so with myself, like yeah, you're gonna learn from your mistakes and all that, but how do you say it, man? Like, like I'm a big believer of like, like, people say, oh, like, let your son or daughter do whatever they want, let them drink, let them explore, because then they're going to, they'll find out for themselves. But I think that's a whole BS, you know what I mean? Because how about if it's all it takes is one taste, one touch of something and they can get addicted, you know what I mean? And like, and I'm not talking about someone told me, I've seen it, I've been around it. And I know the feeling, you know what I mean? Like, why? But how about we should educate our children, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I believe like so sometimes I feel like our parents can't teach us certain things because maybe they don't know what it is. How can they teach us something that they don't know nothing about?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But they've just been taught from their parents like how they should bring the kids up and how certain things. But myself as a parent now, like I'm grateful. I'll be using like the good and throwing away the bad. You know what I mean? And like learning from my experiences. You know what I mean? I would like to teach my kids that, like, the things that I wasn't taught, instead of giving the things I wasn't bought that wasn't bought.
Yeah.
So I'd rather teach them the things that I wasn't taught, and yeah. So I believe it was. I'm not blaming my parents or anything, like, but yeah, if I like, we have to be more understanding, I believe, and like more open, and like, like there's a saying, like in the Bible, I think it is like in the poly community, they always say, honor your mother and father. You know what I mean? Yes, it's true, but then it also says in there too, I think I was talking to Jerry about it, it also says you should not provoke your son. And like my parents, I love them with all my heart, but with the way I'll be trying to bring up my kids is I want to be their best friend. You know what I mean? And but I believe it is, man. Like it was that feeling of getting locked up, and like once you're free, that's when you start exploring and getting curious, and where if I was just explained to, like, properly, or not even properly, like it's just a better understanding of certain things, I probably have a different perspective in life. And but yeah, I think it was.
Man. Yeah, I was questioning in my head. I was like, man, what's like? It sounds to me that the real root as to why Faima was always I guess doing rebellious things or doing things that were like that he wasn't meant to do, was because either it was one or two things, man. It was either you didn't get taught, right? You didn't get taught well on how to deal with being free from a strict place or strict household, or you're carrying so much trauma, right? You're carrying so much trauma that, bro, it was that big that you didn't even know that you were carrying it. It's like, but the thing is, there's always a reason to why people do what they do, and it's just like kids. I work with kids. You have your own kid, or you have your own daughter too. So, one thing I've learned with kids is that, man, if they cry, there's a reason why they're crying. If they, I know that, like, one thing that my mom would teach me when I was changing, like when I was changing my little brother and sister's diapers or like nappies, they would say, when they're crying, it's like, it's one of the three things. It's like they're either hungry. I think it's like they're either hungry. They need their thing. They need their nappies changed. And I think there was one more, but I forgot the last one. But yeah, it was just like, oh, freak, I didn't even know that. And so there's a reason why, there's a reason why babies cry, but there's a reason why there's a reason why we do what we do every day. There's always a reason as to why we do what we do. It's like, and if you say that you don't know, then that's cool. We have to get into a position of wanting to know, okay, how can we get to a place of us knowing? I know that, especially as a PI, us both living in a PI community and living in this culture, that, man, there's a reason why people are being silent. There's a reason why parents are silent. There's a reason why a community is silent. It's like the very thing that is the very thing that is silencing us is the very thing that is going to kill us too. The very thing that is silencing us is the very thing that's going to kill us. And I say that with like full pride. I feel that, like, I say that with all passion, because even that, man, like, if you're willing to share, I know that with Faima, like, he's attended, bro, how many funerals have you attended in like the past few months?
The last month, man, like probably 5 people in total, like, we've lost.
Yeah. So on Faima's side, like, he's attended 5 funerals in the past month. Did you say?
Oh, like, I've attended 1, 2, 3, 4 right now, but like
4,
5 in total. Like, we can't.
Yeah. And so even that, man, that speaks volume. And were all of them PIs?
Yeah.
See, it kind of puts into perspective. Obviously, for some, for some of them that did pass away, it might have been different. Like, they might have had some sort of sickness. But hey, right, our poly people are passing. You know what I mean? And it really puts into perspective of like, hey, this is the reason why we're grateful. I may not have a father, but I have a life. Or I may not have, the gadget, or I may not have a studio, but I've got my family, because there is someone out there that is dying to have what you have, and you're here, being ungrateful. You know what I mean? But yeah, bro, no, thank you so much, man, for sharing that. And also, even because it was just something that I was really curious about. I was like, man, I think maybe the reason why Faima, like, lived that experience was because he was so strict. He was in a restricted place, or a restricted family that restricted him from doing things, that once he let go, man, it was like for free. Like, bro, I'm going to do things free willingly. But yeah, man, bro, like, just to move on, I've got a question that leads to the, this, to the setback. And bro, you mentioned that, the biggest setback that you had, like you already had shared that, bro, what was the setup? What was your comeback for you? What made you kind of step away from, I guess, cycling on through and doing the same thing, the same bad types of things, even though you're a good person, inside. What made you come back? What made you be the person that you are now? What was kind of like that moment where you said to yourself, nah, I'm letting go of that and I'm going to pursue this goal that you're on right now?
But to be honest, it wasn't something that I just sat there and said, like, this is what I'm gonna do, but it was everything, you know what I mean? Like, so when I went away, and then, like, But it is. I heard it saying something like, the greatest things in life is like, or like greatest moments, or a couple of greatest moments is when a mother gives birth. You know what I mean? A mother gives birth, your marriage, I'm guessing, and being released from jail. That
Right.
overwhelming feeling. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't wish it upon anyone. Don't go to jail, so you know that feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just being like when someone takes away your freedom, now then you start thinking, man, like, wow, like, you know what I mean? Like they've closed those doors and that's it. You can't go until, like until you've been released. But I thought that was bad. But then what I've come to realize is that you don't have to be behind bars, to be in prison. We a lot of time we were in prison in our own thoughts, and we've been in prison in like the life that we lived. You know what I mean? And then like I think there was a saying like you can escape it, or you can be released and set free.
Mm.
Like, everything that we've been, but with myself, like I found out, like, like sitting in there, and my brothers. I thank my brothers and my family. Like they were paying for everything for my partner. My house, my cars, and that. And then I was just thinking, man, like if I keep carrying on, and like, what kind of person am I?
Mm.
You know what I mean? And then anyways, I got released, and then I was still on bail and stuff like that. And then that I had a lot of restrictions on myself, like, you know what I mean? I wasn't allowed to leave the house only for work and that. And I noticed like little things, and oh sorry, before that, like I started to find God in
Yeah.
the jail, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was a place where you don't want to be. I don't wish jail upon anyone, but I believe jail was like a spiritual hospital for myself. It was a spiritual hospital, and like, I kept on going, like, long story short, I was going for bails and stuff like that, and I wasn't getting it. You know what I mean? I was thinking, man, I didn't, like, hey, there's not enough here and blah blah blah. I believe I'm a good, let me go, blah blah. And I was praying, like, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, like, we'll be praying 100 times in that, you know what I mean, 100 times a day so you can get out. But then it was the time when I just said, I think it was the fourth time when I went for bail, and I said, man, God, if it's, maybe I'm not ready to get released.
Yeah.
True story. Like, I just said, man, maybe I'm not ready to be released. I've got to fix something before I can go home. You know what I mean? And then I still remember to this day, like, I opened my Bible. This is the day before, and it just said, the Bible said, do not let your heart be troubled. That was the thing. I didn't think. I just opened it, and I still remember that's what I read. And then the next day, that week, I got released.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing, man. That's amazing.
And then I was thinking, man, like, and then I thought, oh yeah, like, like, praise the Lord, it's still like, but then I was still going through court and all this stuff, you know what I mean? And yeah, man, it was just like my life started changing slowly, because I was restricted again. So now I'm thinking of it now, like, I was restricted, so I wasn't allowed out, I wasn't allowed to drink, I had to do alcohol tests, sign in, all that jab, whatever. And then I just, for myself, like, maybe it could help someone out there. I had bad gambling habits, drug habits, drinking habits, I didn't think I had a problem, but now I know I did. You know what I mean? Little things like, I seen God changing my life around. You know what I mean? And for myself, little things like I started going to church on my own and having money in my bank account on a Monday. That might not seem much to someone, but those are little things that I noticed. Like, I was saying, oh, like, I got money in my bank account. I actually live week to week.
Yeah.
Living week to week, and then like now I'm noticing like the value of money, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I believe for myself, you know what I mean? Like, and the life I lived, I believe we're spending our money on things that weren't life, that have no life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We, like in the Bible says, we spend what are we spending our money on things that are not bread? And sometimes people we complain about, like, I don't have this, I don't have that, but look at your lifestyle. Look at like how you look at your shoes you wear. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm talking from experience. You know what I mean? I bought all these branded stuff and all this, but yet we complain about it. But yet you want to go eat out, you want to live a lavish life, but you complain that you got no money. You complain that your job doesn't pay enough. You know what I mean? But like, look at your spending habits. Like, so little things like that. I seen like, it was good for me. So I got in trouble, and it was just like opening little doors, but I didn't like sit there and say, "Oh yeah, this is it. I'm changing my life now." It was just slowly progress, and it's still going down. I'm just scraping the bottom of the barrel now. You know what I mean? And I'm learning every day. And like, I'm grateful to cross paths with you. Like, I'm being transparent now. Like, for someone that might help them. Like, bro, I don't use all these big words. Like, I'm not like that no thing. I'm starting all over again. You know what I mean? And like, I'm learning how to read books again. I'm learning how to write. I'm taking notes. I've never used my calendar. And all this came to life from when something bad that happened in my life, and God has blessed me now and is guiding me. Like, sometimes I question what I'm doing, if it's right what I'm doing, but then if I think of it like what I'm just talking about now, I've just reminded myself. Little things like reading, writing, learning how to use laptops, computers. I've never thought I'd be on a podcast talking to someone. You know what I mean? But I've never read a book. I'm starting to read books. I'm starting to explore things, you know what I mean, that I never knew nothing about. And this is within the space of a couple of months.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's like, it was little steps that I was doing, but I had to go back to come forward. You know what I mean? I had to go into the darkness to come back to the light. And like you said, man, everything, if we want to move forward, man, like, we have to bring it to the light, or we're going to stay in the darkness.
100%, man.
Yeah, so if that answers your question, like, that's how it slowly moved forward. Like, yeah, I got some progress from that. And I'm still trying and still going.
Bro, that's an amazing testimony, bro. That is an amazing testimony, man. And it's so cool to see, like, for those out there that are tuning into this podcast, like, we have these conversations on a daily, but it's so cool to kind of, step back and just hear you, bro, and hear your story, and to see how far you've come. Because, if anything, people may see you and just be like, bro, Faima's just like, wow, what is he doing with this branding stuff? And, even jumping IM, like trading, it's like, what is he doing? Like, and then it's like, no, I get it. I get why he's doing it. He's shared his story. And now that I know his story, it makes sense as to why he's able to do some things that not a lot of people can do, one of it being, running your own clothing brand. Another thing is, even that, like, guys, this guy here, I need to share this, and like, I'm going to share this live because, if anything, this guy needs some appreciation. Now, I did mention to you all that this guy has not missed, right? And I always say it. This guy does not miss a mindset call, right? I do mindset calls. I do it on. I do it at 7:30, right? At 7:30 a.m. from Monday to Friday. And this guy's probably only missed two. Was it two or one? Like, I know that there was one that we didn't do because of the gym issue. Which was an issue. But do you remember, bro? Was it only one that you've missed?
I think it was that one we only missed, that because of the gym didn't work,
Oh, yep, yeah. So other than that, like, this guy has been for like the past 4 months, just been turning up. And for me, guys, it's been such a blessing because, for me being a freedom coach and in starting up as a freedom coach is not easy, right? Like, you're trying to put yourself out there in the market. And so, like, this guy has like just been turning up. He'll turn up like but even if it was 7:50, he'll pop up. And I'm like, bro, I didn't know about this guy, man. I don't know why he's so so eager. And so, bro, I got a question for you, man. And this is probably a personal question. And like, I haven't even had the time to ask you, bro. But, bro, what's your reason? What's your reason as to why you actually keep plugging in? You know, what's the real deeper meaning as to why you keep tuning in? Because, like, bro, there was one stage where it was only me, you, and someone else. That's it. There was only 3 people on. You've been in moments where there was only 3 people in, and you've also been in moments where there've been like 10, 12 people. So yeah, bro, what's your reason? What's your reason as to why you jump on?
Nah, man, like, you know, at the start, like I was just jumping on and like, you know, I was getting some momentum, like, you know, always tuning in. And then I thought to myself, like, maybe I'm just jumping on so like, you know, you can say my name, or like, I don't know if I'm getting something out of it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm getting this like through out of you saying, oh yeah, I'm always jumping on or that. But then I said, nah, like I wanted to learn something every day. I wanted to learn something every day. And if you want to learn something, you hang around with people that are going to teach you these things, you know what I mean? And you plug into certain things, to podcasts, to books, to stuff like that. Because for myself, it's like I said, I'm starting over again, you know, and especially today, like, you know, we were talking earlier, like, you know, everything that I thought I knew, no, like I'm throwing it away. I'm resetting. I'm pressing my reset button up to go again. And like, sometimes, like, you know, maybe the things that I write down, like, you know, like we say is, you know, note is a change makers. At the time, maybe I haven't looked at it again, certain notes. Maybe I just read it down, but maybe it's still there. I have to go back, reevaluate. And it's just like, it keeps me accountable too. You know what I mean? That like, you can say like, if you can do little things like plugging in, then I can do certain things. You know what I mean? The more, if I can plug into a core that's for free, you know what I mean? Like, then I can start plugging into other things, you know what I mean? And like, just being consistent. So here I'm beating myself up saying like, I'm consistent in other areas that I'm not consistent in other areas. But now, since you asked me, now I am consistent. You know, I'm not being so, I just got to continue it on everything else.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, you know, we jump on and like, I'm learning new things every day. Like, you know, if I'm not learning something new, I've reminded myself about something again that I'm not doing. And like they say, like, things that are boring are the things that are going to get you there. You know what I mean? The little things that the things that are going to help me and that's going to get me to my destination. So that's why I believe I plug in still, I mean, because I benefit from it. You know what I mean? And it but we help each other. It you know, vice versa. It probably helps you to, you know, like but yeah, that's why like I jump on, because I get a lot of value from it. And what I learned is I would like to teach other people like myself, you know what I mean, that like that are not you know, like that just haven't had the opportunity in life in learning certain things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it would be good to hear from people like themselves that didn't know how to spell properly or read or like, you know, certain things like that. So like that we can grow and we can grow together, and like no one is dumb. There's just an untrained brain. And I'm learning all this from plugging in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't have this confidence to speak to you straight, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like I'd be the friendliest person when I was drunk or high. You know what I mean? I'll go talk to anyone, but I wouldn't have the confidence. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think, is it like being drunk or under the influence of alcohol? That's not real confidence. You know, that's the alcohol taking over you. But like, you know, being confident in learning certain things and teaching other people. Now that's you know, that's something that that's a real flex, where you can help someone in a different way, in a positive way. And everything that we do, and like yourself, you know, we're not just trying to make a change for money or thing, but you're making, and just for a living, you want to make a change and make a difference in other people's lives. And now that's a real flex. And that's why I plug in, man, to learn. That's it. To learn.
Yeah.
Always a student.
Yeah, always a student, bro. Always a student, you know. And yeah, man, that was just like a personal question that I wanted to ask. But You know, it really shows your character, man. Like, bro, just being truly transparent with you, bro. Like, it really shows your character. And although you did mention in some areas that you may not be as consistent, but there is some areas where you are. And yeah, man, I just wanted to acknowledge you, bro. Like on this podcast, show, just to say, man, thank you. You know, thank you for tuning in and plugging in. You know, there's been some moments where I didn't want to do it. You know, there's been moments where, or even that, there's been some moments where I've come in and, we had some technical difficulties or, if our audio and our internet, and it's like, what the heck? And it's so cool to see that, people like yourself are still wanting to plug in. And so, yeah, bro, I just wanted to take the time out to say thank you, man. And I wanted to do it publicly, to let everyone know that, bro, this guy's actually a legit beast. And as one of the boys would say in the mindset course, he is the OG GOAT. Oh, man. Nah, but hey, bro, I think we should start wrapping up this podcast, man. Bro, I actually forgot that we were doing a podcast show, right? Right. But you know what, man? These, like, I've learned through, being a podcast host that the best podcast episodes are the ones where you don't even feel like it's a podcast. Those are the best ones, man. Yeah. It's just a conversation from A to B. And then, like, after you realize, like, oh, yeah, we're going to wrap up, you're like, oh, snap. Oh, it's true. We actually are doing a podcast. But, bro, I actually got one more question, man. One more question for you. And it's about that T-shirt in the background. It's about that specific T-shirt that's all framed up, and also the T-shirt that you're wearing. For those out there that are tuning into, that are listening, through Spotify and Apple Podcasts or Apple Podcasts, you guys won't be able to see it. But I know that Faima's going to share. So, bro, could you kind of share a bit about your brand? Your brand, about what's it about, just for those out there that are watching and listening.
Yeah. Okay, so my brand is it's about an area. Like, so the area I was brought up is in Mount Jules, Trzl Hill. And growing up, we called it Trzl Hill. So we just put the word Trzl Hill and the hill together. So so then growing up, we've always wanted to bring it to life. And with my the journey that I was taking, I was thinking, man, like, what the heck, man, just bring it. You know what I mean? Just do it. And so I've always umming and ahhing about bringing it out. And then it was a fact that it was a day when I said that who cares what anyone thinks? You know what I mean? If no one likes it, I don't care. I like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to bring it to life. And when I started dropping the thought of the weight of everyone else's negative thoughts, and, like, maybe it's no one's negative, but it was my own thoughts that I was putting in my own head. You know what I mean? So when I dropped that weight of failure, where I just said, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? And, like, then I brought it to life. And that white shirt there, it's my first design was our actual shield of our school. And the shield just represent the first design of, like, the hill is where we train at. It's where we kicked it from when we were young. You know what I mean? A lot of people trained it, NRL players. So, fighters train on there, like UFC fighters. They do video clips on our hill. And that's why we call it Trzl Hill. And I just wanted to wear something that, like, that's dear to my heart. And I just wanted to bring it to life. And I want everyone to know about our neighborhood. You know what I mean? And, like, some people one person or whatever told me that no one will buy it because it's from your own area. You know what I mean? And then I replied with, well, you wear New York clothes and LA clothes. You're not from there. You know what I mean? So I just pressed on forward and I didn't worry what they said. So, yeah, and it was just, I was sick of making everyone else rich too. And I wanted to do something for myself and, like, give it a crack. And not only that, I was doing this when I was working at the time, but now I'm doing this full time, studying, trading, and I'm doing my clothing line. And I used to tell myself, when I was working, man, there's got to be an easy way out. You know what I mean? I'm sick of working 12-hour days or whatever, how many hours, X amount of hours, X amount of days. But then I come to realize when I come to do my own hustle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, that's the real deal. When I'm working for someone else, that's the easy way out.
Hard.
That's the easy way out. When you're coming and you're doing your own hustle, now that's tough.
Mm.
You know what I mean? We're not gonna say it's easy, but we can simplify things to get there. And but that first design was just it was the shield of the school. It just represents that I've never been into this clothing brand, so it was like I'm starting over. I'm going back to school, and I've put our shield on there, so it just represents. I wanted you to notice it was just like a school shield because so that's like I was starting from scratch. I'm learning. I'm still learning. You know what I mean? I'm still learning, and even to the colors like is black. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Like is black and gold. If you can see, I say this, even to the colors is black and gold. The reason why I put black and gold is because that was the food brand that we were brought up on. Like we couldn't afford the expensive brands, so we were brought up on black and gold. And then just the bottom, I put like home is where the hill is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was the first design. And then like I'm slowly bringing out like Trzl Hill, like stuff. And it just represents like something that's close to my heart. And not only that, it just represents like things in life, you know what I mean? Like, are you going to go over the hill or around the hill? You know what I mean? Everything is clear at the top. You know what I mean? And we all start from the bottom. Everything in life that we want to try to achieve is we start from the bottom. So, and it just keeps me accountable. Like I can't give up. I can't give up. And it's just, I need to keep on pressing forward. And like, it's not slow and steady that wins the race. I believe it's consistency. And that's why I want, like, that's something about my brand. And so I'll be bringing more stuff out. And like my logo it's slowly coming to life as well. Like I haven't put any pictures out there yet, but it's a fox for those who have known. So like that'll be my logo. And because back in the day our old football team was Trzl Foxes, and I believe, or someone can correct me, but like I believe the fox is the only dog that kicks it on his own. He doesn't roll in a pack. A fox hunts on its own.
Yeah.
But hey, at the start, it's brought up from a loving family, and then it's out in the wilderness. It hunts on its own.
Yeah.
But that's something about my brand, and yeah. Hopefully, it's can keep on going and keep on progressing and getting better. And the only way it's going to get better is just the more work I put into it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, man, like I remember hearing your story. I remember listening to your story the first time, about your brand. And yeah, bro, it really captivated me, and for me, it actually takes me like for me to be captivated, like you'd have to share to me something that's new. Because I've seen everything under the sun. I've seen, people share, very cliche stories. Oh, I came from, the ground up. It's like, yeah, cool. But bro, when I heard your story, I'm like, man, there were so many things that this guy doesn't even know that is going to impact people. There's going to be so many things that he's sharing right now that he doesn't even know that is going, like his brand. He doesn't even know where his brand's going, but I believe that it's going to go somewhere. And so, bro, I really do, appreciate you sharing about your brand. And bro, I'm all for it, bro, as you'd know. For those out there that are tuning on, like I am supporting his brand too. And so yeah, man, I guess we'll start wrapping up this podcast, bro. I really enjoyed it. It was something, bro. I don't know, man. Like I feel so much at peace, hearing other people's story. And also I am also at peace knowing that someone else is going to be listening to you. To your story, bro. And so yeah, bro, once again, man, I want to say thank you so much for jumping on. Now, before we wrap up this podcast, there are people out there that are listening to this, to this podcast. We have the Impact community. We also got your followers out there too, bro. If you had an opportunity, right, to share any encouragement out there to help someone else, what would you share to them? What would you share to them as your last kind of like spill? Or drop the mic, Sish. What would be something that you'd want to share to people out there listening?
Whatever you're walking around with, the idea in your head, bring it to life. Bring it to life. Stop sleeping on it. Stop dreaming about it, and bring it to life. And you can't give up, or you can't say it's not going to work if you haven't even tried it. You know what I mean? So like there's something like, you want to get knocked down standing up. You know what I mean? It's like you don't want to be knocked down laying down. It's, you're already down. So like stop questioning it and just do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to do, but do it in a way where like, you got some cautious risk, and like, don't quit your job and do like being like, do whatever you got to do. But go for it, man. Like go for it. Drop the weight of everyone else's negative thoughts, because honestly, no one cares. The only one that's going to ruin you is your own thoughts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like, so just if you want to bring an idea to life, bring it to life. It's not about the money. Like, I talk about it too, but don't get me wrong. Money does play in your head sometimes, but you got something more than what money can buy. It's the idea.
Yeah.
You want to bring it to life before someone else does.
Oh, yes.
Because if you didn't do it, then hey, that's a missed opportunity for yourself. And then as long as you gave it a good crack, and at least you can do it.
Yeah.
Give up and don't let anyone else, like someone that you work with, your 9 to 5. How can they tell you what to do? They're still doing the same thing you're doing. The only way you're gonna move forward and get progress is if you step forward and step out into progress, or you can step back into safety. We're all capable of doing it, and like they say, man, you hear it everywhere, man. Success leaves clues, and man, sky's the limit, man. And if you believe that, man, who knows where you can be. So go for it. Just do it, like Nike says. Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, man. That's it.
Yeah. Nah, bro. That's amazing, man. Like, thank you for that encouragement. Even now, I'm encouraged by that, bro. Whatever idea that you have, set in your mind, like, just take it. Bring it into life. And so, yeah, bro. Like, man, thank you so much for that, bro. It's like, man, I feel good. Just like, kicking back and just hearing your story. But bro, if there are people out there that wanted to connect with you, if there are people out there that wanted to connect or get to know you more, or even connect to your brand, what is the best way that they can connect with you?
Yeah. So I do a lot of my branding stuff through Instagram. So you can follow my main page as Muzza_86, or you can just go to TRZL_Hill. To follow our branded page, and I have a Facebook page as well. But yeah, keep an eye out. That I'll be dropping more merch, and yeah, thank you once again, man, for having me on, and I'm grateful and I'm honored, man, and I appreciate you once again, and yeah, thank you very much, Hus.
No, all good, my bro. I do appreciate you. Appreciate you too. But yeah, I just want to I guess bring a bit of clarity for those out there. If you're watching this through our YouTube channel, Faima's Instagram handles and Facebook will all be down below, so you guys can check that out for those out there that are on YouTube. But if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I would highly recommend you to go to our Instagram page, and that is our main platform here on the Impact Podcast Show. And Faima will be promoted on our page too, so you guys can check him out, and his links will be there too. But even that, if you guys can't get through there, or let's say, for example, like we're 3-4 years on and you're trying to look for him, just go into our following page, and we are following, like the Impact Podcast Show, we're following Faima too, and his brand, so you guys can just check it out there. It'll just be an easy way for you to find him. But hey guys, that's it. That's all we got for this podcast, bro. Bro, I want to say thank you so much for jumping on.
Thank you for having me, man. Blessed and honored, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. But here, we'll finish off, guys. That's all we got. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching, and for those out there listening. And we'll catch you guys all in the next episode.